Welcome back to another deal review. Today we're going to be talking about how we made $10,000 wholesaling a piece of real estate in Minnesota. Now, when I say Minnesota, I say that very loosely. This was actually in Pipestone, Minnesota, which is essentially South Dakota, which is, in my opinion, one of the most difficult states to wholesale in. And we had to end up finding our buyer from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, this lead came from Speed to Lead. It was back in the 2023 50-50-50, which is honestly part of the reason why I even ended up with this lead, because I was kind of just searching around, trying to gain some momentum. I was having a kind of a rough day, not really closing anything. And so I went on the Speed to Lead's marketplace, and I just went based off of the criteria, right? Motivation, condition, location, and I actually broke my own rules. When I talk about location, normally I say you have to have a minimum of 2,000 buyers. Well, there weren't 2,000 buyers in Pipestone, Minnesota at the time, but I felt confident in the fact that because it was Minnesota and we always have a pretty good experience with dispositions in Minnesota, I bought the lead. Now, funny enough, you're going to see the seller call here in a second, but it turns out she had 2 properties that she wanted to sell us. So we ended up with a 2-for-1 special in Minnesota. Lower price points. We only ended up making $10,000, but it was still a cool call. So enjoy this live seller call, and then I'll come back to explain how we did the dispositions process.
Hello.
Hi, is Cynthia there?
This is her.
Hey, Cynthia, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on Main Street that you had entered on my website saying that you're looking to sell. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You still looking to sell that property?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make it happen. I woke up.
What company are you from?
The website you were on was cash offer option.
All right. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep. All right. How much you looking to get for that property?
I'm looking to get about 22.
Say that again.
I'm looking to get about 22,000.
22.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know what's hilarious? This is how I know this is meant to be, okay? So my company name is really Titanium Investments. And titanium is the 22nd element on the periodic table of elements.
Yeah.
And the reason why, so I'm actually wearing a jersey right now with a 22 on it. The reason why is because my partner, Cassie, she was born on February 22nd. And then my number in sports was 22 growing up. So when we were trying to come up with a name for our company, we realized, hey, both of our numbers are 22. And
That's funny. 22 is one of my favorite numbers. And being in sports, there was a girl who looked at it ahead of me. So I was 44.
there you go.
Just double it.
I love it. I love it. So, yeah. All right. So I just out of curiosity, are you saying 22 just because it's your favorite number?
No, that's honestly, I've been in the property business for a while. I was a landlord for several years, and it just seems like a reasonable number considering the route that I'm trying to take.
I got you. All right. So let me see here. What is the square footage of the property?
Just shy of 1,000.
Gotcha. And it's vacant right now?
Correct.
But it was tenant occupied prior?
Yeah, it was either occupied by me or tenant.
Okay. And how long has it been vacant?
Did I go for a year before or after? So it's been about 6-7 months.
Okay. Utilities been on and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we didn't have to worry about pipes or rats chewing wires or anything like that. Does the property need significant work or just like tenant turnover type work?
It needs the labor of love as far as siding and the bathroom goes.
I got you.
Probably the windows too, to be honest. And then, tenant cosmetic stuff.
Yep. And then systems wise with like hot water heater, roof, stuff like that. I mean, anything major that you know of?
Those are all good. There's a spot on the roof. One of the last times we had it took the shingle off.
Okay.
But other than that, it's good. The furnace and the roof was done 2011, 2012.
Okay.
The hot water heater I had put in, I want to say in like 2017, 2018, somewhere in there.
Okay.
It's a window unit for cooling. It's gas, natural gas for heating for the furnace.
Okay. How much were the tenants paying when they were there?
For rent?
Yeah.
I'm kind of nice. I had rent. I had rent at about $500.
I got you.
But going rate in town is definitely more than that.
What do you think we could get, like 800, 900?
Definitely.
Gotcha.
I would say definitely, considering they just built K through 12. It was just the high school. So we're like the last block of Main Street, and then at the end of our block, there's the baseball field and whatnot. And
right.
across from that, school. The baseball field's run by the school. So that has been within the last year and a half or so. So this end of town specifically has become more ideal.
Awesome. Need 2 seconds. What's the bedroom and bathroom count?
3 bed, 1 bath.
I don't know why none of this stuff is pulling up on any of my systems. It's just like even on Zillow, it doesn't have it.
Yeah, no, I went to look online just to see what other people would see when they looked it up. And yeah, no, it's weird.
Because I have like multiple systems like Privy, PropStream, Batch Leads, like that I use for comping. And it's got every other property in your neighborhood. It's got all of their information. But on yours, the only thing it gives me is the lot size. It didn't give me square foot. I'm like, well, thank you for telling me how much dirt there is. But
yeah, no, and if this goes well, I have so I live across the street from the property. I used to own a triangle here. So if this goes well, I have a second property to hand over.
Nice. So is it literally right across the street?
Yeah.
Is it of similar price point?
This one is probably a little bit, it would be a little bit more just because it's in better condition.
Yeah.
There was renovations and whatnot done sooner than across the street.
Gotcha.
But it's roughly the same price point. It's about the same size house, the same bedroom, the same bathroom.
Gotcha. Is it rented or is it vacant?
I'm currently living in it.
Oh.
So I'm getting rid of one.
I gotcha.
Getting it set up for relocation and then, handing over the other.
Where you want to move to?
Colorado, the Hartsville area by Canyon City.
By Canyon City. Man, that's one of the toughest places to get houses.
What?
Colorado is like one of the toughest places for me to get houses.
Well, I'm not looking to get a house. Actually, we're homesteading, so we're buying property. We have a couple lots that we're to go look at and build.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the last thing that I had out there that's somewhat close, talked to a guy in Colorado Springs a couple weeks ago. He had a pretty cool little property, but I always ask that because it's like, hey, I might have something. Someone the other day was like, yeah, I'm looking to move to Georgia. And I was like, what city? And it was literally a place where I was buying a house in Georgia. I'm like, well, can I just sell you the one that I'm buying right now? I mean, why not? So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm good to pull the trigger at 22. I mean, every good deal starts with a cool story. So, I mean, why wouldn't I want to buy a house for $22,000? I mean, I I would almost feel like I'm disgracing my own company if I tried to negotiate you down a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, if you're good, I'm good at the 22,000. So the way it works with us is we send you the contract, you sign the contract, we come and we do our walkthrough, we verify all of the work that needs to be done. You were pretty thorough with what you told me about the conditions, so I feel pretty confident. But say everything is good, then we'll probably close sometime mid-July. If we come out and it's like, hey, this is a lot worse than what we anticipated, not that there's a whole lot of room for us to negotiate, but sometimes we would have to say, hey, we really need this at 15,000 or something like that. If that's the case, it's up to you. You either say yes or no. If you say no, then I either have the right to close at 22,000 or I terminate. So that's kind of the way it goes. I would tell you, I'm pretty damn good at what I do. So more often than not, we do not try to renegotiate. So pretty good at analyzing deals. And on this deal, I'm pretty confident in our numbers. So I don't see that. I don't foresee that being an issue there.
All right.
So if you're ready, I can send over the contract to you now. Are you the sole owner, or who are the owners of the property?
I'm the sole owner of that property. So the reason for getting rid of them separately in part two is because I have a mortgage on this other property with an ex-husband. So I'd like to get rid of that and not deal with him. So I'm the sole owner for the 908 property.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. So on the other one, he technically is a seller too, right?
Well, he doesn't own the property, but he's on the mortgage. So like when I had the divorce done and whatnot, I went over to the courthouse, filed paperwork and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So that the properties are solely in my name. He's just on the mortgage. So if I sold this house, this 907 house, with the mortgage still on it, I would have to deal with him just because of the mortgage. But if the mortgage is gone, I don't have to deal with him at all.
Well, that's kind of interesting because if he's not an owner technically, then
I still have to get him to sign the paperwork with the mortgage company that we have to agree to, release the mortgage with an amount on it.
I got you. Okay. So 908, 22K. I'm going to send you a contract for that. I know you want to wait, but how much do you want for 907?
I was hoping 28 to 30.
Okay. And what you said, the square footage is similar?
Yeah. The difference with this house is it has vinyl siding. It has a metal roof on the home. The garage is in better condition on this property. And the only major things that need repaired, I would say, would be the bathroom and then flooring. Otherwise, everything else is pretty good. I would say paint just because I have had tenants live in this house, and I moved here to start the process of relocating and whatnot and organizing. I was getting rid of houses, so I haven't done anything just because, to be honest, I don't care.
Okay, so I'm looking on Street View. So 909 is this white house, right?
Yes, to the west. And then 907 is the tan house with the black shutters and the white metal roof.
That looks like a nice little house.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, did you pour like a new driveway?
No. So when I bought 908, the gentleman who owned this house was renovating it, and he just had gotten done. And then he was a single man living alone and got the flu and ended up passing away. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, and the other house that I bought, 910, blue one next to 908, was a really close family friend who had passed away. So I bought that house on share sale, and then I bought this one. I got to know his power of attorney, who was his longtime childhood friend. And I got a deal on this property as well. So I was pretty fortunate, especially the times that I did it.
Yeah, so
really taken care of by time that I had marketed.
So did you already sell 910?
Yeah, I did that in order to divorce my ex.
Gotcha. All right, so 22 for 908, and then 907. You said you want like 28, 30,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Anything need to be done to that one? I mean, it looks. What year was that built? It looks newer.
It was built in the 30s. So yeah, Gene Longstrom was the previous owner of this home, and I watched him do everything. He repainted. He put some paneling up inside a couple of the bedrooms. Poured the concrete driveway, did the siding, the metal roof, new windows. He did a really great job.
So if I say I want to buy both, you need to sell 908 first. For what reason? What's the reason why we need to close on that one first?
So I can pay the mortgage off for 907 and sell the property. But if you're willing to be patient and help me, be supportive through that process, I'm not opposed to doing both at one time if that sounds good to you.
Well, realistically, I mean, we could contract both of them and then just close 907 first. So then you can pay off close on 908. Sorry, the numbers get a little bit confusing. Close on 908, you pay off 907's mortgage, and then
we'll close on 907.
Yeah, when you're ready to move, because you still need to find the land and whatnot in Colorado, right?
Yeah, like I said, there's 3 properties that we're be looking at soon. So I would anticipate that by that time we would have a pretty good idea what's happening. Maybe just a couple weeks extra.
Right, which is perfect. I mean, we close on one, and then 2 weeks later we close on the next.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it 22 days apart.
That would be fine.
All right. I know, right? All right. What is your email address?
Correct.
All right. So, do you want me to send you those contracts right now?
Yeah, that would be fine. I actually need to head out. I have a doctor's appointment that I need to get to, but if you want to send those over, I'll look up and
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll send them over to the email. I'll just do it as 2 separate emails, and the subject title will be the address, and then it'll be coming through Dropbox sign, so it's similar to DocuSign. And then you can just sign them when you're ready. Let me know if you have any questions. This is my office phone number, so just feel free to call and just ask. My name's RJ Bates.
Ooh, that last name though. Maybe I should be scared.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you probably should, just because you get the reference. And most of the time when I tell people, they're like, "What? Bates Motel? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Just come stay at my motel." I love it. All right. Well, yeah, I'll get those sent over to you. And like I said, we'll work around your time there. And I'll put a closing date on here for both of them. But with understanding that 907 will happen on the time frame that you need it to happen. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, Cynthia. Talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Boom, baby. 2 for 1 special. So what happened there was I'm going through my follow-ups, but while the phone's ringing, I've got speed to lead up and I'm refreshing my screen. And as I saw this lead come, what I saw was small city in Minnesota, right on the North Dakota state line. But I saw need to sell ASAP, tired of being a landlord, vacant, fair condition. So those are triggers. So what I did was I took the city and I went to Investor Lift and I searched how many cash buyers do I have in this city, because I don't know. And what I found out is I have 1,444 cash buyers in this area. So then I looked at their buyer score and I see high activity. So they're buying deals in this area. Flip history, flipper, landlord, flipper. Okay, so we have buyers there. So because it was kind of a relatively remote location, the lead wasn't as expensive as this would have been in another area. So I paid $374 for that, which I'm very particular about which leads I'm going to spend that much money on, because I want it to be just like that. And then boom. So for $374, I was able to have that conversation and get 2 deals out of it. And I think they're really good deals. Looking at this, we've got comps at 150, 110, 115. So getting them at 22 and 30 were really good deals. So pretty excited about that one for sure. All right, so there was the live seller call. I got her to sign the contract for each property, and it ended up being a pretty smooth process, honestly. We got recon done on both properties. We blasted them out on Investor Lift, and we started with the first property that she needed to sell. And we explained to each and every buyer that, hey, what we were really looking for is someone to buy this property and then a month later to buy the second property. Now, most buyers were cool with that because of the price point. And then obviously you don't want another investor owning a flip or a rental across the street from whatever you're doing on a new project, right? It's better to just go ahead and own both of those. And so most buyers were completely cool with that process and understood the seller's situation. Now, when we uploaded this into Investor Lift, we blasted it out to the buyers inside of Pipestone, but we immediately went and looked on the map, and it's like, okay, Sioux Falls, South Dakota is the largest metro, like quote unquote, major city close to Pipestone, Minnesota. So let's go ahead, let's blast it out there. And that's where the majority of the address requests and the inquiries that came in on this property, because that's where the majority of the buyers actually were located. So pretty seamless process. We made a $5,000 assignment fee on the first property it sold, and then we made a second $5,000 assignment fee on the second property. Altogether, the initial closing was fairly quick. The second one, 30 days later, exactly what the seller needed. Seller was happy, and buyer was happy. And we moved the deal, actually, yes, 2 deals in Pipestone, Minnesota. So a real easy transaction. And this is one of the things that I always want to point out about rural deals. Sometimes they can be more difficult and sometimes almost impossible to dispo. Other times you come across a deal like this, and it's close enough to one of those major metro areas, even like Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which wouldn't necessarily be considered a major city, but it was large enough for us to go in and find our end buyer and get this deal moved. So that's how we made $10,000 wholesale on 2 properties in Pipestone, Minnesota. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Show me some love. We'll see you guys on the next one.